Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Quality Magnify India. Myself Deepak Kumar Shamal. Welcome all the viewers and subscribers to my channel. This video is special for me because this is my 100th YouTube video. I tried my best. I tried to help the community. I tried to help the needy peoples who are really interested to learn the technical knowledge, the technical inputs which will help them in their industrial life in order to grow their career, in order to help them from past almost 3 years, I decided to start this channel and continually I upload many technical videos, auditing videos, interview questionnaires, so that the peoples, the employees, the students who are willing to know or who are willing to grow their knowledge, they can saw those videos and they can use that in their professional life and they can enhance their career growth further. So it is a proud moment and happy moment for me that I have completed the 100th YouTube video, which helped thousands of people, thousands of students, thousands of employees to gain more knowledge from that. And I am pretty sure they have used that knowledge in their professional career and they made growth to their professional career. So I will keep on doing this activity for few more years as long as I have enough time to do that. And what I give, I also expect the same from your side. What I see from my YouTube analytical channel review, 20% out of 100%, 20% people only subscribe to the channel. 80% watch the channel but never subscribe. Usually it is demoralizing the creator of a YouTube channel if he's giving his 100% and if he's putting his effort to share his knowledge or share some valuable data or share some valuable informations with you from which you are getting benefited or from which you are getting some knowledge and you can use in your professional life. So a small contribution of doing a subscribe or a small contribution of sharing the videos with others in order to grow the channel will be a great help for the creator. I hope you understand what the creator need. The creator need a support from give and take. It is like give and take. What I am giving, I am taking something in the reward, so that everybody will be encouraged from both the sides. That doesn't mean that whatever the subscribers I have, they didn't give me any love. They give tons of loves to me. I found hundreds and thousands of comments in my videos, very nice comments which give me immense pleasure. There are thousands of likes for my videos. Many people keep on following me. They praised me, they give me blessings, and that's what I need from your side. So friends, my dear viewers and my subscribers, many thanks for what you give to me, and I am expecting that the same love, even more love and more support you will give in future. From my side, I will do the same. Whatever your demand will be, whatever my expertise, my area of expertise, those area of expertise knowledge I will share with you, so that we can make a better world to live in. Dear friends, I post some of your nice and encouraging comments. It is not possible for me to post all the comments what you have put, that is in thousands. So apology for that, whose comment is not here. I just choose few of the comments and I put it here. So many thanks, and I really appreciate your time that you are watching my videos and you are giving time for it, and I'm pretty sure those videos are giving some technical knowledge input for your career, and you are using those in your professional career. So it is like a bonding between you and my channel, and I hope this bonding will continue forever, and your support is always appreciated, and I believe this type of support you will keep on doing for the future too. So we are continuing for API 653, and this is the last part of API 653. As I told you, we have covered sorry, we have covered the several parts of API 653, API 650, 653, then 651, 652. Okay, all those topics we have already covered. 571, and as I told, 577, SM section 5, section 9, it is already covered in API 570. You can watch those videos, and the one video which is remaining, that was API 575. What is that API 575? So we'll continue API 575 in this video, and after that, after this video, I can say API 653 will be fully completed, and I will start with a new session for a new API. Okay, it may be 580, it may be 577, it may be 936, it may be 1104, something like that. But something I will start. Okay, a new API will start, or some new technical videos will start, and you will get such type of videos in a regular intervals. Okay, so friends, let's start API 653 training course part 12, in which we will cover today API 575. So what is API 575? That we need to understand first. For API 575, it is inspection practice for atmospheric and low pressure storage tanks. So first you need to understand what do you mean by inspection practice. See, if I'll say, if you want to go for API 650, 653, if you want to read API 650 and 653, construction and in-service inspection, then before that you should read this API 575, because this is the basic. Okay, this is the basic of API 650 in order to understand what is API 653 is. Okay, if you go for other APIs like API 510, okay, pressure vessel, you will read API 572, which is also a recommended practice. Okay, it is a recommended practice. API 653 recommended practice is in API 575, which will give you the guidelines. Okay, which will give you the overall idea. What is 650? Okay, what is 653? You will get everything. Part of API 571, part of API 650, part of API 653. Everything you will find in API 575, because it gives all the info. Similarly, for pressure vessels, API 510 is API 572. Okay, and if you go for API 570, that is piping inspection, you will find API 574. Okay, similar for API 580 RBI, you will find 581. So for each and every API, construction and in-service inspection code, there is a recommended code also. Okay, so similarly for API 650 and 653, the recommended practice code is API 575. Okay, it is nothing but a summary, it is nothing but a gist, it is nothing but a overall idea of a tank. What type of tanks are there? What are the possible defects happen in the tank? How to do the inspection of tanks? What are the requirements? You will not find the exact values. The exact values will go to 650. Construction, during construction, what will be the requirements? During inspection, in-service inspection, re-rating, reconstruction, okay, relocating, what are the requirements? That is different. Okay, that is the exact requirements, but it will give you a overall idea. API 575 will give you a overall idea for tanks. That's why it is called recommended practice. Okay, it is not a guideline. It is not a mandatory guideline. Okay, it is a recommended practice in which you will get the overall idea of API 650 and 653. So what do you mean by alternation? Alternation already we talked in API 650. Okay, alternation 650 and 653, both areas we already talked about. Okay, it is in 653. Alternation. Alternation means at any work of a tank that change the physical dimension or configuration. Physical dimension means change of height. Okay, you add the cell, you remove the cell. Okay, configuration, change of bottom plate, it is called alternations. Okay, minor cutting is called not called a alternation. In tank, you have to remember alternation is change of height or change of the bottom plate. Okay, not a cutting up area is called alternations. Before it is more than 12-inch nozzle is called alternation, but now there is nothing like that. It is like change of cell height. Okay, change in service, a change from previous operating condition involving different properties of the stored products such as specific gravity, corrosivity and different service condition of temperature pressures. These are why I am telling these are sometimes open book and sometimes closed book exams. Okay. Defect, an imperfection whose type and size exceed the applicable acceptance criteria. Okay. If it exceeds the applicable acceptance criteria, then it is rejectable and it is called a defect. If it is not exceeded the applicable acceptance criteria, then it is called a indication. Okay, so reportable indication, recordable indication. If you remember, I have already read all these things. Reportable means indication, maybe it is a defect, maybe not is a defect. Okay, then if we find the size exceeds the applicable acceptance criteria, then we call it defect and it is recordable. Okay, a defect is a recordable indication, but a imperfection or indication, okay, imperfection also we told them, imperfection or indication is not a recordable. Okay, it is okay. So an imperfection whose type of size exceeds the applicable acceptance criteria is therefore rejectable. So release prevention barrier, this is important. Sometimes it comes in the exam. Okay, steel bottoms, synthetic material, clay liners, and all other barriers or combination of barriers placed in the bottom of or under the above ground storage tank which have the following functions. So steel buttons, this is usually come in open book questions. Okay, steel bottoms, synthetic materials, clay liners, and all other barriers. Then what is the function of those one? Preventing the escape of contaminated materials. Okay, containing the channeling released material for leak detection. So these are the requirements for release prevention barriers. Okay, repair, any work necessary to maintain or restore work to a condition suitable for safe and leak proof operation in accordance to APA standard 653 is called a repair. Okay, we didn't discuss about major repair and minor repair, that is different, only repair. Sounding is a very important term. Sounding means you, by hammering something, you will able to know whether there is how the sound is. Okay, if the sound is good, then maybe the product. This is like a inspection way. Okay, an inspection technique that relies on impacting the surface with a tapping rod or listening for hollow sounds that indicate delamination of loose or continuity. If it is delaminated, it is detached, then the sound will be different. If it is intact, the sound will be different. So it is an inspection technique. Temporary repair, repair made to storage tanks to restore sufficiently integrity of continuous safe operation until permanent repairs are conducted is called temporary repairs. This is tank design and material. I hope you remember the last videos what is saying. Okay, I just read the highlighted one and I will explain to you. Guideline for inspection of pressure vessels operating at pressure greater than 15 psi gauge are covered in API RP 572. What is 572? Guidelines. Guidelines for what? Recommended practice. 572 is recommended practice for what? Pressure vessels. Okay, as I told, up to 2.5 psi. Up to 2.5 psi, API 650. Then 2.5 psi to 15 psi, API 620. Then 15 psi more than 15 psi, it is ASME section 8. That is pressure vessels. Then again it is divided into sorry. Then again it is divided into three parts: division 1, division 2, division 3. Okay, hope you remember what I told to you. Storage tanks with auxiliary equipments. So this is a open book question. Usually it comes in the exam. Okay. Stairways, ladders, platforms, handrails, piping connections and valves, manhole, electrical grounding connections as required are cathodic protection systems are considered examples of storage tanks auxiliary equipments. It will come as a exam questions. What are the auxiliary equipments? So keep in mind this one. What is auxiliary equipments? So use of atmospheric storage tanks. Atmospheric storage tanks in the petroleum industry are normally used for fluid having a true vapor pressure less than the atmospheric pressure. If it will be more than atmospheric pressure, then the pressure you cannot handle. We cannot call him APA 650 or APA 620. Okay. If it will more, then we need a pressure vessels, not a tank. Okay. So vapor pressure is the pressure on the surface of a confined liquid caused by the vapor of that liquid. Vapor pressure increase with increasing temperature. Crude oil, heavy oil, gas oil, furnace oil, naphtha, gasoline and non-volatile chemicals are usually stored in atmospheric storage tanks. This is not a question. This is only for your information. Cone roof tanks. This is usually a open book questions. Okay. The most common type of atmospheric storage tank is the fixed cone roof tank. This is a closed book questions. The most common type of atmospheric storage tank is fixed cone roof tank. Fixed cone roof tanks are typically up to 300 feet dia and 64 feet height. Although larger diameter tanks has been built, these roofs are normally supported by internal structural rafters, girders and columns. I hope you remember rafters, girders and columns. But can be fully self-supporting in smaller diameter, typically 60 feet dia or less, and self-supporting aluminum dome roofs. Umbrella roof tanks, as I told, this is like an 575 is giving you an idea, okay, give you a recommended practice, okay, before construction of a 650 you have to read 575, okay, it will tell you what are the types of tanks, how many types of roofs are there, what are the expected cause of defects will found, how to do the inspections, all these things will cover in AP 575. Umbrella roof tank, the umbrella roof tank and the self-supporting aluminum dome roof tanks are variations for the fixed roof tanks. The umbrella roof tanks has radially arced segmental plates with internal framing support members. Okay, the aluminum dome utilizes the geometric properties of the geodesic design and the tubing members covered by the aluminum shuttering and the strength. External floating roof tanks. The floating roof tanks in another common type of atmospheric storage tanks. The floating roof tank is designed to minimize the filling and breathing losses by eliminating or minimizing the vapor space above the stored liquid. This one time came in the open book question. Okay. The external floating roof there is no longer permitted under APA 650 Annex C. This is again one question. Such roofs have no reverse buoyancy and are susceptible to shrinking in service. External floating roofs, okay. Internal floating roofs where there is a floating and top of it there is a fixed roof, that is called internal floating roof tanks, okay. If you remember APA 650 we discussed everything. Another type of tank has both fixed roof and an internal floating roofs, okay. There is a fixed roof as I told you and one internal floating roofs. The fixed roof is usually a supported cone or dome of steel and aluminum. This is called internal floating roof tanks. Low pressure storage tanks, already I discussed with you this one. Low pressure storage tanks are those designed to operate with pressure in their gas or vapor spaces exceeding 2.5 psi, gas permissible in APA 650 but not exceeding 15 psi. Gas maximum limitation of APA 620. So as I told, up to 2.5 psi it is APA 650 and up to 15 psi it is APA 620. Sorry, that is 650 and this is 620. Above that you have to use pressure vessels, okay. SME section 8 division 1, 2 and 3, hope you remember. So use of low pressure storage tanks. You remember section 8 division 1, 2 and 3. Division 1 from 15 to 3000, from 3000 to 10,000. Division 2 from more than 10,000. Division 3, okay. Use of low pressure storage tanks. This is a question usually come for the open book. What I told, this chapter will come 8 to 10 questions, out of which we'll find more than 5 questions is open book. Only 1 to 2 questions will close book. Okay. Low pressure storage tanks are used for the storage of the more volatile fluids having a true vapor pressure exceeding the pressure limit of APS 650 but not more than 15 psi. Light crude oil, gasoline, blending stock, light naphtha, pentane, blah blah blah, all these are used for this pressure. Okay, usually this come in a open book exam, so keep on mind this one. Cylindrical tanks, okay, it is very rarely used. Tanks that have cylindrical cells and cone of dome roofs are typically used for pressure less than about 5 psi. Okay, this is a closed book. Sometimes the bottom may be flat or have a shape similar to the roof. Hold down anchor of the cell is generally required for pressure above 5 psi gas. Hemispherical, spheroid and noded spheroid tank types are commonly used. Reason for inspection and cause of deterioration. The basic reason for inspection are to determine the physical condition of the tank and to determine the type, rate and cause of damage mechanism and associated deteriorations. This can be a open book question. Process safety and environment. One of the primary reasons to conduct periodic scheduled inspection is to identify deficiencies that could result in a process safety incident, such as loss of contamination, which could lead to fire, toxic exposure, or other environmental hazards. Regulatory requirements. This is a question, last time it came, I think 2 years back or somewhere I saw in a question bank. In general, regulatory bodies require the compliance with the industry standard or code or adherence to the recognized and general acceptance good engineering practice RAGAGEP RAGA when performing any inspection and repair activities. This is the regulatory requirements. Okay. Emission control. In the United States, the Environmental Control Protection EPA has issued a spill prevention, control and countermeasure rule that covers most petroleum storage facilities. This is one of the emission control requirement. Okay. Deterioration of tanks. This is for informations. Okay. Corrosion is the primary cause of deterioration of steel storage tanks and accessories. Location and measuring the extent of the corrosion is a major reason of the storage tank inspection. If left unchecked, tank deterioration can be progressively lead to failure. If you remember, we have inspection frequency, we have already read it. Okay. I hope you remember. You will get must question from inspection frequencies. Okay. APA 653. Atmospheric corrosions. As I told, it will tell you the overall idea, how many types of tanks are there, what are the roof types, what are the inspection requirements, then what are the causes, internal and external corrosion it will happen. So here all this we read it in APA 571. Atmospheric corrosion. Atmospheric corrosion can occur on all metallic tank components exposed to the atmosphere. The type of tank, construction details and environment condition can all affect to location, extent and severity of the external corrosions. If you remember in APA 571 we read it. Okay. Which environment is most severe corrosion? Marine environments, 20 mpy, okay, 20 mils per year. Tank bottoms. External corrosion of tank bottoms can be significant. This line is important. For example, cinder is known to be contains sulfur compounds that become very corrosive in the presence of moisture. The presence of clay, wood, gravel or crushed stones as contaminated in sandpit can cause pitting corrosion at each point of contact. So this is for the tank bottom. Okay. Riveted tanks. Riveted tanks may have niches where concentration cell corrosion can occur. Leak at the seams of riveted tanks can cause failure to the extreme coating, allowing external corrosion to develop. So these are the expected failures which will come. Leaks. Leaks are primarily the result of corrosion but can occur at primarily welded and riveted joints. These are not so important and I don't see any question from there. Brittle fracture, for your knowledge, brittle fracture already we read it last time. Brittle fracture as a sudden loss of content of the tank can result in injuries to person and extensive damage to equipment in surrounding areas is called brittle fracture. Okay. So crack. The lower cell to sketch plate or cell to bottom weld is especially critical because of relatively large or relatively hot tanks. There is a higher likelihood of this detail to develop a crack-like flaw due to high stress. So these are the explanation for the crack, why crack happens. Settlement, we spend a lot of time in APS 653 when we read it, how to measure the settlement, what are the settlement requirements, what type of settlement is there. Okay, I hope you remember and you still practicing those settlement, because settlement is the most for a tank. For a tank, the cell plate is not so important. For a pressure vessel, the cell plate is important. For a tank, the bottom plate is important. Okay, pressure vessel, there is no bottom plate. So for tank, the bottom plate is important, and bottom plate related to settlement. Okay, so that's why settlement you have to read it very carefully. Large or uneven amounts of settlement can cause nozzles with attached pipings to become overstressed and possibly deformed or cracked or interfere with the normal operation of a floating groups. Significant amount of uneven settlement should be cause of concern and for further investigation. Edge settlement in the tank with cone down bottoms can trap BS and W, resulting in a bottom and lower cell corrosion in the area. These are the requirements of settlement. They just explain it, what is the why settlement happen. Okay, these are all the explanations what you are seeing. This is a brief explanation why this thing is happened. Inspection record and software. Inspection plan of tanks can be maintained in a spreadsheet, hard copy files, or proprietary inspection software database. Developing inspection plan. An inspection plan is often developed and implemented. This is a question. Okay, you will find this is an open book question. This one is an open book question, and this one is a closed book question. You will find most possibly these two questions. An inspection plan is often developed and implemented for tanks within the scope of APS 653 through the collaborative work of the inspector, engineer, corrosion specialist, and operational personnel. These are the 4 persons. An inspection plan should contain the inspection task, scope of inspection, and schedule required to monitor damage mechanism and ensure the mechanical integrity of the tank. Knowledge of the capability and limitations are well maintained. Okay, so this is a questions 6.1.1. Many of the technologies used to leak detection are identified in API publication 334. Leak detection is API publication 334. Usually what happen, for the code names you will find 1 or 2 questions. Okay, what is API 334, what is API 580, what is API 579, what is 581, okay, what is 575, what is 572. So you will find one question from all this. So this is one of the important API publications 334 is for leak detection. Probability of failure assessments. Identifying and evaluating potential damage mechanism, current tank condition, and the effectiveness of the past inspection, and important steps in the assessing the likelihood of the tank failure. The likelihood assessment should consider all forms of degradation that could reasonably be expected to affect the tank in a particular service. So these are not so important, but I put it for your information. Documentations. Any RBI assessment should be thoroughly documented in accordance to API RP 580. RBI is 580. What is 579? FFS. What is the full form of FFS? Write in the comment. Okay. Inspection plan. After a RBI assessment is conducted, the result can be used for the establishment of inspection plan and better defining the following. So these are the inspection plan requirements. Inspection timings. I hope you already remember the inspection timing. As I told you, the inspection timing, please go to APS 653 and practice those. This is very important, and you will find many questions for this one. You will not find any question from API 575 for the inspection timing, but for climate events, maybe you can find one question. Okay. So although inspections are normally scheduled or interval ranging from monthly to 20 years. Monthly, who do? The operator. Okay. Some circumstances warrant immediate action to mitigate the potential for imminent hazards. For example, holes in the liquid or vapor space of the tank may pose immediate hazards. Okay, if there is, okay, there is some standards we put it. Okay, but even though it is there in the codes APS 653, Still, if you find some of the immediate action where it is needed, you have to take an action on those. Okay. Climate event. After severe climate events, high wind, high water, heavy rain and lightning strikes, potential affected components will be checked. Okay. So these are the routine checked. Beside to routine check, if something happened due to climate events, you have to check all those things. It is a common sense. Seismic events. Seismic events means earthquake. Okay. So after seismic events that were significant enough to have impacted on the integrity of the component of the tank, floating roofs and associated tank pipings and inspections shall be performed. Leaks. If leak is detected during an in-service inspection, a storage tank engineer should investigate to determine whether the leakage is caused by internal or external corrosion or some other condition that can be corrected while the tank remains in service. Condition. Condition-based inspection scheduling. Inspection schedule and performed based on the past, current and expected future condition of the tank are defined in the condition-based inspections. To meaningfully evaluate the condition of the storage tanks, one can evaluate the data from the previous inspection and the limits of corrosion and other forms of deterioration that can safely be tolerated. Remaining life evolution. I believe remaining life already you practice in APS 653. Remaining life we find out by what is the T actual, okay, and what is the T required. Okay, T actual by T required divided by the corrosion rate. So remaining life we found from there. Corrosion rate evaluation also we given. The corrosion rate is T previous, T actual divided by the years. Okay, so we found the corrosion rate. These are simple calculations, but you will not find any question from APS 575 for these two. Okay, but there are questions 100% from APS 653 for corrosion rate evaluation and for remaining life. Product consideration. Storage tank cell plate thickness is normally calculated to contain a fluid a desired specific gravity, usually water for the hydrostatic test in the case of atmospheric storage. If the actual service conditions are different from those contemplated in the design, for example, a stored liquid, okay, this is not so important, you will find the cell thickness plate would be designed accordingly if the specific gravity is greater than 1. What is the specific gravity of water? It is 1. Then a hydrostatic test condition does not reflect the loading of the products. If the specific gravity is 1, then hydrostatic test is not considered. Okay, lower one we can do it, higher we don't allow. Minimum acceptable thickness of structural members, this is for info. Soil site corrosions, here it mentions if there is a soil site corrosion, there may be a 20 mils per year, okay, corrosion rate. It can come, but it is not so important. This is important questions. Note it, you will find it in a open book question. Ladders and stairways should be examined carefully for corroded and broken parts. The condition of the ladder, vertical or rolling, staircase parts and handrails should be checked by visual inspection and, if appropriate, by mechanical means such as pinging with a hammer to determine whether their parts are safe for continuous use. Okay, staircase and other access details should be evaluated by OSHA regulation of 29 CFR part 1910 or other applicable safety standards. Platform and walkway inspection, this is also one of the important. Okay, low spots where water can collect should be checked carefully because corrosion may be rapid in such areas. Drain holes can be drilled in the area to prevent the future accumulation of water. So if there is a platform and water accumulation is there, make a drill hole, okay, so that the water will drain. Or if it will stock on that area, it can corrode that area. Okay, anchor bolt inspection, this is one of the important. The condition of anchor bolt are usually to be determined by a visual inspection. Okay, the area should be cleaned by scraping, picking, wire brushing, etc. to determine the extent of the corrosion. So this is anchor bolt inspection. Grounding connection inspection, if there is any grounding, you have to check it very carefully. Okay, the total resistance, this is a closed book questions once it came in the exam. The total resistance from tank to earth should not exceed approximately 25 ohms. API RP 2003 provides information concerning 2. So here another one code which is important is API RP 2003. 2003. The grounding of tanks to prevent ignition from static electricity, lighting strikes, stray electric currents. Protective coating inspections. Coating, you understand? The condition of the protective coatings on a tank should be adequately established during inspection. Rust, spot, blister, peeling and cracking of the coating due to lack of adhesion are all types of common coating failures. Okay, so those are coating failures. Inspection of CUI, corrosion under insulation, and the condition of insulations. These are some of the requirements they have mentioned here, which is not so important. For your info, you can read it. But this CUI, this question in API 575 is a must question. So keep in mind. So this is another one type of cracking, caustic cracking. Here stress corrosion cracking SCC is there. So caustic cracking, they have mentioned the most probable place for this is to occur around connection of the internal heating units or coils. If there is any internal heating units and coils, then caustic corrosion cracking may occur. This type of deterioration is manifested by cracks, and that starts with the inside of the tanks and progress through the outside. Ethanol stress corrosion cracking, API, this is a question. Okay, keep remember this question. API Bulletin 939E provides guideline for the identification, mitigation and prevention of ethanol stress corrosion cracking. Okay, rivet inspection. If the tank is of riveted or bolted construction, a visual inspection should be performed and a number of randomly selected rivets or bolts should be checked. This is for info. Okay, riveted inspection, what we need to do. You can read all this, it will enhance your knowledge, but it is not in the exam questions. Drain lines, this is a question usually, it comes in the drain line. Okay, open book. This is a question and this is a question. Evolution, these two questions usually come in open book. The first stage at least about 30 psi. Okay, drain lines how you have to make, because some areas where the water stacking is there, what are the requirements for the drain lines, they have mentioned here. For approximately 30 minutes to detect the any leak in the pipe, hose or rigid points, the pressure is then reduced to approximately 5 psi to gas to another 30 minutes to test the tightness of the swing joints. Evaluation, this one is important, keep it in mind. Okay, visual inspection may be direct type when the surface is readily accessible to a place eye within 24 inch of the surface at an angle not less than 30 degree. The minimum illumination is 15-foot candles or 25 lumens for general viewing, and 50-foot candles are 100 lumens per viewing for small anomalies. Okay. So this is the recommendation for repairs of riveted or bolted tanks. This is not so important. Then bottom repairs. Okay, you will find one closed book question for this bottom repair. Bottom is always very important. Whenever you read APA 653, 650, you have to make consideration more focus on bottoms. Bottom is the more important. Okay, 655 rule. You remember? A perimeter layer of clean sand fill, metal grating or a concrete pad should be installed under and at least 3 inch beyond the projection of new bottom, so that the cell is supported on the foundation through the new bottom. When you are putting a new bottom, okay, what is the requirement? A concrete pad should be installed under at least 3 inch, 76 mm. One more a concrete layer should be given at least 3 inch. After that, you put a new bottom. Okay, so that is the bottom repair requirements. Non-metallic repairs. Leaks in roofs can be repaired by non-metallic carbon fiber materials or by soft patches that do not involve cutting, welding, riveting or bolting of the steels. Soft patches can be made from a variety of materials including rubber, neoprene, glass, cloth, asphalt, mastics, epoxy sealing materials. The choice depends on the content of the tank and the service conditions. So that's all, friend, for API 575. You will find 6 to 8 questions or maybe more than, sometimes it varies. API 575 questions are always varies. Okay, sometimes it is 10 questions, sometimes it is 6 questions, but most of the questions are open book. Okay, highlight the points where I told this open book questions, and you will definitely find more than 5 questions it will come in the exam. So many thanks friend watching for the video. I hope you like my videos. Keep on sharing those videos with your friend, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate your time to watch my videos. Thank you very much.